Welcome back to Buddha Stories as we deepen our journey into the profound peace that ancient Buddhist wisdom offers. Tonight, we embark on the first sacred gateway to truly restorative sleep, the simple yet immensely powerful affirmation, I am grateful for this day's journey. As you settle into this moment, allow these words to resonate, not just in your mind, but in the very core of your being. Feel the gentle release of the day's burdens as we begin to explore the multifaceted layers of this foundational truth. The ancient masters, with their profound understanding of human consciousness and the subtle rhythms of life, knew that the transition from the bustling activity of wakefulness to the deep surrender of sleep is a critical juncture. It's not merely a physical shift, but a spiritual opportunity for healing integration and profound peace. These 5 sacred lines, beginning with gratitude, are designed to be your gentle guides into the most restorative sleep imaginable. You don't need to be a scholar of Buddhist philosophy, nor do you require years of meditation experience. All that's truly needed is an open heart and a willingness to receive the peace that is in essence your birthright, your innate state of being. As we begin with this first sacred line, invite your body to instinctively release any lingering tension. Notice how your breathing naturally softens and deepens, slowing down as we consciously step together into this sacred space of intention. I am grateful for this day's journey. In the soft glow of evening light, when the world outside begins its quiet retreat, and the relentless chatter of daily life gently fades into hushed whispers, there exists a practice so beautifully simple, yet so incredibly profound, that it has genuinely transformed countless lives across vast centuries and diverse cultures. This isn't about conjuring a forced sense of thankfulness, especially when your day might have been exceptionally difficult, marked by stress, disappointment, or genuine struggle. This gratitude isn't a superficial emotional plaster. Instead, it's about recognizing a deeper, almost mystical truth that every single day, regardless of its apparent challenges or perceived setbacks, is in its entirety a complete and perfect journey of growth, profound discovery, and invaluable experience. When you whisper to yourself or silently affirm within your heart, I am grateful for this day's journey, you are doing far more than just acknowledging a sequence of events that unfolded. You are at a soul level honoring the profound truth that your deeper self, your soul, chose to experience each and every moment that presented itself precisely as it unfolded. This perspective reframes your entire day, seeing it not as a series of random occurrences, but as a meticulously crafted tapestry designed for your spiritual evolution. Consider the beautiful teaching story from Zen Buddhism, a narrative that perfectly encapsulates this nuanced understanding of gratitude. A farmer's only horse ran away. His neighbors, seeing his misfortune, gathered around lamenting, "Oh, how terrible!" The farmer, with a quiet smile and an unperturbed spirit, simply replied, "Maybe." The very next day, to everyone's astonishment, the horse returned, bringing with it 3 magnificent wild horses. The neighbors now exclaimed, "How wonderful!" Again, the farmer, embodying profound equanimity, merely said, "Maybe." This cycle continued through a series of seemingly fortunate and then seemingly unfortunate events. his son breaking a leg while taming one of the wild horses, only for that injury to save him from conscription into a brutal war. The farmer's profound wisdom lay not in predicting outcomes or denying difficulties, but in understanding that each individual moment, each joy and each sorrow, each success and each challenge is an interconnected thread within a much larger, intricate tapestry of life, a tapestry whose full design we, with our limited human perspective, cannot possibly fully see or comprehend in the present moment. As you lie in the comforting embrace of your bed tonight, breathing slowly and deeply, allow yourself to contemplate how this ancient wisdom applies directly to your own day. Perhaps you navigated moments of intense frustration at work or engaged in a particularly difficult, emotionally charged conversation with someone you deeply care about. Maybe you felt an overwhelming burden of responsibilities or experienced the sharp sting of disappointment when something you had hoped for didn't materialize. In the profound understanding of Zen, these seemingly negative experiences are not in any way obstacles to genuine gratitude. On the contrary, they are the very substance, the rich, fertile ground of your ongoing spiritual journey. Each challenge that presented itself was not merely an impediment, but a potent invitation, an invitation to discover a hidden wellspring of strength. You didn't know you possessed a resilience that lay dormant until tested. Every moment of discomfort, every pang of sorrow, every feeling of being overwhelmed was a precious opportunity, an opportunity to cultivate and deepen your compassion, to strengthen your patience, and to forge a deeper, more refined wisdom within yourself. To further illuminate this truth, recall another poignant Zen story. A young earnest monk, overwhelmed by the perceived injustices and difficulties in his life, complained bitterly to his revered master. The master, without a word of rebuke, calmly handed him a handful of salt crystals and instructed him, "Put this salt into a glass of water and drink it." The monk complied, and the water tasted terribly undrinkable. Then the master gently led the monk to a vast, beautiful lake shimmering under the sun. He asked the monk to throw another handful of salt into the lake. They then cupped the lake water in their hands and drank. It tasted wonderfully fresh and clean. "The pain of life is like the salt," the master explained with a knowing smile. "The amount of salt, the pain itself, remains the same, but the vessel in which you hold it, the container of your consciousness, makes all the difference." He continued, "When your vessel is small, constrained by resistance, and narrow perspectives like a glass, the pain overwhelms you. But when your vessel is vast, expansive, and accepting like a lake, the same amount of pain becomes barely noticeable, dissolved and integrated into the immensity of your being. Gratitude for your day's journey fundamentally expands your vessel. It transforms your consciousness from a small, easily overwhelmed glass into a vast, accommodating lake. When you consciously acknowledge that every single experience, whether it was outwardly pleasant or undeniably difficult, contributed intrinsically to your growth, to your learning, to your becoming more fully yourself, you simultaneously create immense space within. This space is not empty but vibrantly alive, space for peace, space for radical acceptance, and ultimately space for the most profound and restorative rest imaginable. It's a conscious act of embracing the entirety of your existence, allowing every element to contribute to your inner harmony. As the night deepens around you and your body settles even more completely into the soft embrace of rest, we arrive at perhaps the most liberating and transformative of all the sacred lines: I release what no longer serves. These potent words carry an extraordinary power, the power to truly free you from invisible chains, burdens you may not even realize you've been wearing, often for years, sometimes even decades. In the gentle, forgiving darkness of your bedroom, surrounded by the quietude that evening offers you, are presented with a sacred, unrepeatable opportunity to consciously and lovingly let go of everything that has been weighing down your spirit, exhausting your mind, or constricting your heart. In the rich tapestry of ancient Zen Buddhism, there's a profoundly illuminating teaching story that captures the very essence of release. It speaks of two monks, an older seasoned master and his younger, more rigid disciple, traveling together on a long journey. They arrived at a muddy, swollen river where a young woman stood, stranded, unable to cross. The older monk, demonstrating an act of spontaneous compassion, and despite his monastic vows not to touch women, immediately picked her up, carried her across the turbulent river, and gently set her down safely on the other side. Without a word, the two monks continued their journey in silence. Hours passed, and the younger monk, unable to contain his agitation any longer, finally burst out, "Master, how could you carry that woman? We are explicitly not supposed to touch women. It goes against our vows." The older monk, pausing with a gentle smile and a look of deep understanding, replied, "I put her down at the river. You're still carrying her." This timeless story beautifully yet piercingly illuminates a critical truth about the nature of true release. So often in our modern fast-paced lives, we unwittingly continue carrying burdens, grievances, and unresolved issues long after the moment that created them has passed into history. We carry the lingering sting of conversations that hurt us, the heavy weight of mistakes we've made, the phantom ache of opportunities we believe we've missed, and the deep disappointment in people who didn't meet our expectations. We carry these things not because we are forced to not, because they are inherently necessary, but precisely because, like the younger monk, we've simply forgotten how to put them down. The second sacred line, I release what no longer serves, is your explicit permission, slip your profound invitation to finally gently and lovingly put down everything you've been needlessly carrying. But what does it truly mean to release what no longer serves? It's crucial to understand that this isn't about pretending difficult things didn't happen or denying the validity of your feelings. It doesn't mean forcing yourself to forgive or forget before you're genuinely ready or minimizing the impact of real pain. Instead, it's about a conscious discerning recognition that holding on to chronic pain, festering resentment, endless worry, or paralyzing regret serves no beneficial, life-affirming purpose in your present life. It's akin to hiking a long, arduous trail while wearing a heavy backpack filled with rocks. Each rock might represent something real and significant, a genuine hurt, a valid concern, a hard-won lesson learned. But carrying them everywhere you go, clinging to them relentlessly, only exhausts your energy, strains your spirit, and ultimately hinders your progress. The profound wisdom lies in learning precisely when and how to set down the backpack, even if only for the night. As you rest in the comfort of this moment, breathing slowly and deeply, Allow your imagination to visualize this process. With each conscious exhale, gently imagine that you are releasing something that no longer serves your highest good, your deepest peace, or your most vibrant well being. Perhaps it's the burning frustration you felt stuck in traffic today, or the nagging worry about a situation at work that you genuinely cannot control from your bed. It might be a persistent feeling of disappointment in yourself for not living up to some impossible expectation, or it could even be an old festering wound, a narrative of victimhood that you've been nurturing long past its ability to teach you anything useful or constructive. Whatever arises, greet it with compassion, acknowledge its presence, and then with the gentleness of a feather drifting on the wind, let it go. There's another beautiful Zen story about a master renowned for his extraordinary peace and unwavering joy, even amidst life's inherent suffering. Students perplexed by his equanimity would often ask him, "Master, how do you remain so profoundly happy when there is so much suffering and chaos in the world?" He would smile serenely and say, "I don't resist the river." When pressed to explain this cryptic answer, he elaborated, "Life is like a river, with both clear, sparkling water and muddy, turbulent water flowing through it. If I try to desperately hold on to only the clear water, I create suffering through attachment. If I fiercely resist the muddy water, I create suffering through aversion. But if I simply let the river flow, as it will, embracing both clear and muddy currents, I remain at peace." The secret, he concluded, is not to grasp or to push away, but simply to let flow. This is the very essence of release. It's not about judging your experiences as inherently good or bad, or trying to manipulate reality to fit your preferences. It's about allowing all experiences, the joyful and the painful, the easy and the difficult, to flow through you like water through cupped hands rather than trying to trap them. When you consciously say, "I release what no longer serves," you are not denying the reality of your experiences. Instead, you are making a profound, liberating choice. You are choosing not to dam up the natural life-giving river of your existence with the heavy, stagnant boulders of resistance and attachment. Think about a magnificent tree in the autumn. It doesn't resist releasing its leaves. It doesn't desperately cling to their vibrant green, nor does it judge itself for letting them go as they turn golden and fall. The tree embodies profound trust in the natural process of release, intuitively knowing that this letting go is precisely what allows new growth, new life, and new vibrant energy to emerge in the spring. In precisely the same way, your willingness to release what no longer serves creates an expansive, fertile space within your being, space for new peace to blossom, for new joy to emerge, for new opportunities to gently enter your life. This act of release is not a loss. It is in its deepest sense a sacred gift you give to yourself. Sometimes we resist letting go because we mistakenly believe it implies indifference, or that we didn't truly care about something or someone. But true, profound release often comes from a place of deep love, not indifference. A loving mother doesn't love her child less when she allows him the freedom to walk to school by himself or to make his own choices as he grows. On the contrary, she loves him enough to release her own need to control his every step, trusting in his innate capacity for growth and learning. When you truly release what no longer serves you, are loving yourself enough to consciously stop carrying unnecessary self-imposed burdens. You are loving others enough to release your attempts to control their choices or outcomes. And most profoundly, you are loving life itself enough to stop resisting its natural, ever-flowing, ever-changing current. As you practice this sacred line tonight, gently notice what naturally comes up for you. What are you truly ready to release? Perhaps it's the exhausting need to be perfect, or the lingering resentment towards someone who hurt you long ago. It might be the paralyzing fear about an unknown future, or the heavy regret about a past that cannot be changed. Whatever arises, greet it with boundless compassion and tender self-acceptance. Gently thank it for trying to protect you, or for the lesson it may have offered, however painful. Then, with the exquisite gentleness of a loving parent releasing a balloon into the vast open sky, simply let it go. In Zen practice, there's a beautiful and practical meditation where you imagine yourself as a welcoming house and your thoughts and emotions as various visitors arriving at your door. You don't have to invite every visitor in for dinner, nor do you have to engage with every single one. You can simply acknowledge them at the door, perhaps thank them for coming, and then with kindness and firm resolve, let them know they don't need to stay. This is the very spirit of release. You are not fighting against anything, nor are you aggressively pushing anything away. You are simply exercising your conscious choice about what deserves a permanent draining place in the sacred house of your consciousness and what can simply pass through. Feel deeply how this act of release creates tangible space within your body. Notice how your muscles might naturally soften, a subtle unclenching in your jaws or a loosening in your shoulders. As you let go of tension you didn't even realize you were holding on to. Observe how your breathing deepens and becomes even more expansive as you release the desperate need to control, to fix, or to perpetually worry. This profound physical relaxation is your body's intuitive way of saying a deep, heartfelt thank you for choosing peace over struggle, ease over effort. This is precisely how the act of release prepares you for the most profoundly healing and restorative sleep possible. When you're not carrying the overwhelming weight of what no longer serves your highest good, your body instinctively remembers its natural, effortless state of rest, repair, and deep restoration. As you continue to rest in this sacred moment, wrapped in the comforting warmth of your bed and the security of this ancient practice, allow the second sacred line to work its gentle, transformative magic. Each time you consciously speak it, whether aloud in a soft whisper or silently within the chamber of your heart, you are actively participating in an ancient, powerful ritual of liberation. You are joining countless souls across millennia who have discovered through direct experience that the most enduring and profound path to inner peace often begins with the simple yet immense courage to let go. Now, as we journey even deeper into this sacred practice, allowing the gentle current of these ancient words to carry you further into profound rest, we arrive at what many spiritual traditions, particularly within the vast and serene landscape of Buddhist wisdom, consider the very heart of all inner peace. I embrace the stillness within. These words aren't mere affirmations. They are profound pointers guiding your awareness to something truly extraordinary, something that lives, breathes, and patiently waits at the very center of your being. Beneath the relentless cascade of thoughts, beneath the swirling vortex of emotions, beneath the endless barrage of daily concerns, duties, and the persistent mental chatter, there exists a place of perfect, unassailable stillness. This stillness is not an absence of void or an emptiness to be feared or avoided. Quite the contrary. This is fullness. This is the vibrant, pulsating source of all peace, all unconditional love, and all profound wisdom. And right now, in this very moment, as you lie in the quietude of your personal sanctuary, this infinite wellspring of tranquility is patiently waiting for you to simply remember its presence, to acknowledge its unwavering existence, and to consciously choose to embrace it. Imagine a scene from the mountains of ancient Japan, where a revered Zen master lived, renowned throughout the land for his extraordinary serenity and unshakable inner calm. Students seeking his secret would travel for countless days from far and wide, hoping to absorb just a fraction of his peaceful presence. One particular day, a student visibly anxious and agitated approached the master during a fierce, tumultuous thunderstorm. The wind howled with a primal ferocity. Rain pounded relentlessly against the fragile temple walls, and lightning flashed dramatically across the darkened sky, illuminating the chaos. "Master," the student shouted, barely audible, over the deafening roar of the storm. "How can you remain so incredibly calm, so utterly undisturbed when there's such overwhelming chaos raging all around us?" The master, his face radiating an inexplicable tranquility, smiled gently. He then pointed to a deep, ancient well nestled peacefully in the temple courtyard. "Look at the surface of the well," he instructed softly. The student peered into the well's opening, and despite the violent tempest directly overhead, observed that the water deep within the well remained astonishingly perfectly still. "The storm," the master explained with profound simplicity, "touches only the surface. At depth, there is always stillness. You are like this well. No matter what storms rage in your mind, no matter what external chaos erupts in the world, at your deepest, most fundamental level, you are always eternally still." This timeless story unveils a profound and liberating truth about your intrinsic inner nature. Your thoughts may indeed be racing a relentless torrent of ideas and worries. Your emotions may feel turbulent, like a stormy sea. Your physical body might be tired, aching, or uncomfortable from the day's exertions. All of these, the Master teaches, are merely surface phenomena akin to the waves dancing chaotically on the ocean's expansive surface. But beneath those transient waves in the immense untouched depths of the ocean, there exists a perfect, undisturbed stillness. This profound stillness is not something you need to frantically create, nor is it a state you need to tirelessly strive to achieve. On the contrary, it is something you simply need to remember, to acknowledge, and to lovingly embrace. It is in essence your true nature, your original face, your inherent Buddha nature, pristine, unconditioned, and eternally peaceful. When you consciously articulate, whether aloud or silently in your heart, "I embrace the stillness within," you are not attempting to forcibly stop your thoughts, nor are you trying to eliminate your emotions, for that would be an impossible and exhausting battle. Instead, you are recognizing and acknowledging that beneath all the ephemeral mental activity, beneath all the emotional ebbs and flows, Your fundamental being is profoundly, unshakably still. You are like the majestic mountain that remains utterly unmoved and steadfast while countless clouds pass gracefully over its peak. The clouds are your thoughts and feelings. They come and go, they change and shift their shapes, they appear and disappear. But you, the unmoving mountain of your deepest self, remain eternally effortlessly still as you continue to rest in the comfort and quietude of this moment. Allow your awareness to gently sink into this deeper recognition. Don't try to chase away any thoughts that may naturally arise. Instead, simply notice that you are the spacious awareness in which those thoughts appear and then eventually dissolve. You are not your thoughts. You are the vast, still sky in which the ephemeral clouds of thought drift by. Feel the immense liberation that this recognition can bring. You don't have to solve every single problem tonight. You don't have to figure out the entirety of your future right now. You can simply profoundly rest in the boundless stillness that you fundamentally are. There's another beautiful Zen teaching that eloquently illustrates this truth of innate completeness. A sincere student once asked his master, "What is Buddha?" The master, in his characteristic enigmatic style, replied, 3 pounds of flax. The student, naturally confused by such an ordinary answer, pressed for clarification. The master patiently explained, Buddha nature isn't something special, extraordinary, or separate from you. It's the ordinary miracle of awareness itself, present in everything as natural and undeniable as 3 pounds of flax. You don't need to transform into something other than what you are. You simply need to embrace, to fully embody the radiant stillness that you already are, the fundamental peace that resides within you always. This stillness within you is far from passive or empty. It is vibrantly, dynamically alive, pregnant with infinite possibility, a fertile ground for creation. It's akin to the pregnant pause between musical notes that makes the melody possible, giving it space and resonance. Without stillness, there would be no perceptible movement. Without silence, there would be no discernible sound. Without the vast, spacious awareness that you are there would be no experience at all. You are the sacred stage upon which the entire drama of life unfolds, and the stage itself remains utterly unaffected, fundamentally peaceful, regardless of whatever play is being performed upon it. When you truly embrace this inherent stillness, something truly magical, almost alchemical, begins to occur. Your nervous system, which has been perpetually on high alert in the busy demands of the day, begins to instinctively remember its natural parasympathetic state of calm. Your heartbeat gently slows to its most peaceful rhythmic cadence. Your breathing deepens effortlessly into the pattern of perfect restorative rest. This isn't something you are forcing or manipulating. This is what naturally, organically occurs when you cease struggling against your true nature and simply allow yourself to be. In traditional Zen practice, there exists a foundational meditation known as just sitting shikantaza. It is not about achieving any particular state or striving for any special esoteric experience. It is simply about embracing what is already here, perfectly and completely, the stillness, the pure awareness, the fundamental okayness of your being. You don't have to go anywhere or try to become anything different from what you already are. You just rest fully and effortlessly in the timeless recognition of what you've always been, what you always will be. Pure, untainted presence. Think of a clear, pristine lake on a windless day. Its surface is so still, so perfectly unruffled, that it flawlessly reflects the majestic sky, the towering trees, the passing clouds. But the lake isn't actively trying to reflect anything. Reflection is simply its inherent nature when it's still. In precisely the same way, when you deeply embrace your inner stillness, wisdom naturally arises effortlessly and spontaneously. Compassion flows freely and unbidden. Peace becomes your default, unwavering state of being, rather than a fleeting emotion to be chased. This isn't about effort. It is the ultimate effortlessness. This is the profound experience of coming home to yourself, to your essence. As you continue to practice this third sacred line, notice how it subtly yet profoundly affects your relationship with whatever is happening in your mind. Instead of becoming desperately caught up in the content, the narrative, or the urgency of your thoughts, you begin to rest comfortably in the spacious awareness that simply observes them. Instead of being overwhelmed or swept away by intense emotions, you gradually recognize yourself as the still, accommodating space in which these emotions arise, play out, and then gently pass away. This fundamental shift in identity, from identifying with the turbulent waves to identifying with the vast ocean, from identifying with the fleeting clouds to identifying with the boundless sky, from identifying with the restless thoughts to identifying with the silent awareness of the thoughts, is one of the most profound and liberating transformations possible in human consciousness. Feel how this profound stillness is always eternally available to you. No matter how busy your day has been, no matter how many external challenges you're currently facing, no matter how tired or overwhelmed you might physically or emotionally feel, this untouched, pristine stillness remains forever within you. It's like a secret, inviolable sanctuary deep within your being, a sacred space that no external circumstance, no amount of chaos, no level of stress can ever disturb or violate. When you consciously choose to embrace this stillness, you are not escaping from the vibrant, messy, beautiful experience of life. On the contrary, you are discovering the unshakable, unwavering foundation from which you can meet life in all its complexity with profound grace, resilience, and inner peace. In this very moment, as your body settles even deeper into profound rest and your breathing continues its slow, rhythmic descent, allow yourself to melt completely into this recognition. You are not separate from the peace you seek. You are that peace. You are not desperately searching for stillness. You are stillness itself, momentarily forgetting your true nature amidst the noise of the world. This sacred line is simply a gentle, loving reminder of what you've always been, what you eternally are. Embrace it. Welcome it with open arms and an open heart. Come home to the boundless, vibrant stillness within. This inner stillness becomes your ultimate refuge, your sacred sanctuary, your unwavering source of unshakable peace. As you continue to rest in this awareness, notice how it transforms your entire experience of simply lying here in the quiet of your bed. You are not just passively preparing for sleep. You are actively, consciously reconnecting with the deepest, most fundamental truth of your being. And from this profound, unassailable place of stillness, the most healing, most restorative, and most deeply peaceful sleep naturally, effortlessly arises. Excellent. Let's continue our expansion, now focusing on the fourth sacred line, I trust the wisdom of my heart, aiming for approximately $1,000 words to explore its profound implications for peace and rest. Section 4, The Inner Compass. I trust the wisdom of my heart. As we continue our gentle journey into the deepening currents of peaceful sleep, our awareness now encounters a sacred line that beautifully bridges the timeless ancient wisdom of Buddhist philosophy with the most intimate, deeply personal knowing that resides within you. I trust the wisdom of my heart. These words are a profound invitation, a gentle beckoning to recognize something truly extraordinary. That beneath all the confusion, beneath all the relentless second guessing, beneath all the clamor of external voices, relentlessly telling you what you should think, should feel, or should do, there lives an inner compass of extraordinary accuracy, a profound intuitive guidance system. Your heart knows. It has always known. And in this quiet, sacred moment just before sleep, you are presented with the perfect opportunity to remember to honor and to deeply listen to this deepest knowing, this innate, undeniable truth. Recall the intriguing tale from ancient China concerning a revered Zen master who was famous, almost legendary, for never giving direct conceptual answers to spiritual questions. Students eager for enlightenment would approach him with the most profound inquiries about the meaning of life, the elusive nature of enlightenment, or the surest path to inner peace. Yet instead of responding with elaborate philosophical concepts, complex teachings, or lengthy sermons, he would simply serenely place his hand over his heart and offer a gentle, knowing smile. After years of this mysterious, wordless behavior, one particularly brave and persistent student, unable to contain his curiosity any longer, finally asked, "Master, why do you never answer our questions with words? Why only this gesture?" The master chuckled softly, a sound filled with deep compassion and understanding, and replied, "Words come from the mind, which incessantly doubts, analyzes, and often creates further confusion. But truth, true knowing, comes from the heart, which simply knows. When you learn to listen here," he said, tapping his chest gently over his heart, "all questions, no matter how profound, answer themselves." This story points to something utterly revolutionary and transformative in your personal spiritual journey. For much of your life in modern society, you may have been conditioned explicitly or implicitly to trust your logical, rational mind above all else, to meticulously analyze every situation, to intellectualize and figure out every problem, to create exhaustive pros and cons lists for every decision, and to constantly seek advice, validation, and direction from external experts. While the intellect undeniably has its vital place and serves a crucial function in navigating the material world, the profound wisdom of the Buddhist tradition recognizes that the deepest, most authentic wisdom, the kind that leads to true peace and fulfillment, comes from a fundamentally different source entirely. It comes from the heart, not merely the physical organ that pumps blood, but the spiritual heart, the radiant center of your being, where intuition, boundless compassion, and profound, undeniable knowing naturally arise unencumbered by doubt or analysis. When you consciously articulate, "I trust the wisdom of my heart," you are making a radical declaration. You are acknowledging at the deepest possible level that you already possess everything you need to navigate the intricate labyrinth of life with grace, with resilience, and with authentic presence. You don't need to suddenly transform into someone different, nor do you need to acquire some specialized external knowledge. What is truly needed is to remember how to listen to the subtle, often whispered voice of the heart, a voice that speaks in quiet feelings rather than loud thoughts, in deep knowing rather than frantic thinking. This inner intuitive voice has been with you since the very moment of your birth. It's the same profound inner knowing that even as a child instinctively told you which people felt genuinely safe and nurturing and which did not, which activities brought you unadulterated joy and which felt forced or inauthentic. As you rest deeply in the comfort and security of this moment, breathing slowly and rhythmically gently, place one hand over your physical heart. Feel its steady, unwavering, reliable rhythm. This miraculous rhythm has been a constant companion, beating faithfully every moment of your life, never stopping, never doubting its profound purpose. Your physical heart doesn't question whether it should beat. It doesn't analyze the most efficient way to circulate blood. It simply knows what to do, and it performs its vital function with perfect, effortless trust. In precisely the same way, your inner spiritual heart knows with undeniable certainty what you truly need for your deepest well-being, for your authentic flourishing. There's a beautiful and insightful teaching in Zen Buddhism that highlights the crucial difference between mind knowledge and heart knowledge. Mind knowledge, the conceptual understanding, is like reading extensively about swimming in books. You can theoretically grasp the principles of buoyancy, meticulously memorize various strokes and techniques, and analyze the intricate physics of hydrodynamics. But until you actually immerse yourself in the water, feel its support, and experience the sensation of gliding through it, you don't truly viscerally know how to swim. Heart knowledge, by contrast, is direct embodied experience. It's the profound knowing that comes from living, from feeling, from being fully and vulnerably present to life as it unfolds in all its raw authenticity. This is the profound wisdom your heart continuously offers, not abstract theories about peace, but the direct lived experience of peace itself as it blossoms from within. Reflect for a moment on the decisions in your life that have brought you the most genuine, sustained happiness and fulfillment. Chances are these weren't decisions made through exhaustive, anxious analysis or by blindly following someone else's external advice. More often than not, they arose from a deep, undeniable sense of rightness, a visceral feeling that this choice fundamentally aligned with your truest, most authentic self. Perhaps it was choosing a life partner who felt like coming home, or courageously pursuing a creative passion that ignited a vibrant flame within you, or making a significant life change that terrified your rational mind but simultaneously thrilled and liberated your soul. These precious moments of consciously following your heart's intuitive wisdom are profound glimpses of what becomes possible when you learn to truly trust this inner knowing. The heart's wisdom communicates differently than the mind's often frantic chatter. The mind frequently speaks in terms of shoulds, have-tos, and endless what-ifs, generating anxiety and obligation. The heart, however, speaks in subtle attractions and repulsions, in feelings of expansive excitement and quiet peace, in sensations of opening and contraction. When you're considering a choice that genuinely aligns with your heart's wisdom, you might experience a spontaneous sense of opening a surge of energy or a resounding yes that resonates throughout your entire body. Conversely, when you consider something that goes against this innate wisdom, you might feel a sensation of tightness, contraction, a subtle draining of energy, or an intuitive no. Your body is, in fact, constantly providing you with invaluable feedback about what genuinely serves your highest good. In this moment, as you gently prepare for sleep, your heart's profound wisdom is actively guiding you toward the deepest, most restorative rest. It intrinsically knows that your physical body needs this precious time to repair, to regenerate, and to heal at a cellular level. It knows that your busy mind needs a complete break from its incessant processing and analyzing. It knows that your spirit needs the sacred opportunity to reconnect with deeper, nourishing sources of energy and inspiration. You don't have to desperately force sleep to come. You can simply trust that your heart knows precisely what you need and is gently, effortlessly guiding you toward the perfect healing rest. There's another poignant Zen story about a monk who had become utterly obsessed with finding enlightenment. He tirelessly studied every sacred text, meticulously practiced every meditation technique, and rigorously followed every monastic rule, yet genuine peace remained elusive, always just beyond his grasp. One day, exhausted and profoundly discouraged, he sat by a flowing river and began to weep tears of frustration. An old woman, diligently washing clothes nearby, noticed his distress and kindly asked what was wrong. He explained his desperate, unending search for enlightenment. She smiled with deep compassion and said, "Stop looking so hard, my dear, and just listen." "Listen to what?" he asked, bewildered. "To your heart," she replied. "It's been trying to tell you that what you seek has been with you within you all along." In that singular moment of profound, simple listening, the monk instantly found the peace he had been frantically seeking in all the wrong places. This is the invaluable gift of truly trusting your heart's wisdom. It ends the frantic, exhausting seeking and gently brings you home to yourself, to the inherent peace that is always available. Your heart knows with unwavering certainty that you don't need to be perfect to be infinitely lovable. It knows that you don't need to have everything meticulously figured out to be profoundly worthy of peace. It knows that right now, exactly as you are, with all your imperfections and complexities, you deserve rest, comfort, and the most profound sense of being held and cherished by life itself. As you practice this fourth sacred line tonight, gently notice what your heart might be whispering to you in this precise moment. Maybe it's conveying that you've done enough for today, that you can release the persistent need to be productive and simply allow yourself to be. Perhaps it's tenderly reminding you that you are deeply loved even when you can't clearly feel it or when external circumstances suggest otherwise. It might be softly whispering that tomorrow will gracefully take care of itself, that you don't need to solve every single problem tonight, for solutions often emerge from a place of deep rest. Whatever profound truth your heart is communicating, receive it with an open mind and boundless gratitude. This truly is your inner wisdom speaking directly to you. Feel how trusting your heart's wisdom fundamentally changes your relationship with uncertainty. Instead of feeling an overwhelming need to know precisely what will happen tomorrow or next week or next year, you can rest securely in the deep, knowing that your heart, will gently guide you moment by precious moment. Instead of having to make all decisions from a place of anxious overthinking mind, you can learn to consistently consult this deeper intuitive wisdom. This trust, once cultivated, becomes an unshakable foundation of profound peace. No matter what storms or challenges arise in your external life, you possess this unwavering inner compass that always unerringly points toward your true north, your authentic self. In traditional Buddhist practice, the heart is considered not just the seat of wisdom, but also the vibrant wellspring of boundless compassion. These aren't separate qualities. They are different luminous facets of the same precious jewel. When you truly trust your heart's wisdom, you are naturally guided toward choices that are both profoundly wise and inherently kind. Your heart would never lead you to deliberately harm yourself or others. It would never guide you toward genuine selfishness, cruelty, or malice. The heart's wisdom is always, without exception, aligned with the boundless force of love, even when that love requires difficult choices, uncomfortable truths, or the courage to set necessary boundaries. Think about a mother's profound intuition about her child. She often knows, deep within her being, when something is wrong, even before there are any obvious logical signs. She can sense her child's needs, fears, and joys in ways that utterly transcend logical analysis or rational thought. This isn't some mystical magic. This is pure, unadulterated heart wisdom. In precisely the same way, you possess this powerful intuitive knowing about your own life, your own deepest needs, and your own unique path. The ongoing practice is learning to listen to it with the same unwavering attentiveness and tender care that a loving mother devotes to her maternal instincts. As you lie here now in the growing quietude of approaching sleep, feel how your heart's innate wisdom is already effortlessly guiding this entire experience. It knows precisely how fast or how slow your breathing needs to be to induce deep rest. It knows which thoughts serve your peace and which ones you can gently release without attachment. It knows how to softly melt away tension from your muscles and gently slow your heartbeat to its most restorative rhythm. It knows implicitly how to prepare your entire being for the most deeply restorative sleep. You don't have to actively manage this intricate process. You can simply surrender to and trust the profound wisdom that lives and breathes within you. There's a profound teaching in Zen about don't know mind. This doesn't imply confusion, ignorance, or uncertainty in a negative sense. Rather, it means resting in a spacious, humble not knowing that paradoxically allows true, authentic wisdom to effortlessly emerge. When your busy mind insists it knows what's best, it often creates internal struggle, rigid plans, and resistance to the natural flow of life. But when you rest in this humble, not knowing, and consciously choose to trust your heart's deeper wisdom to guide you, solutions and insights often arise naturally, spontaneously, and elegantly, almost as if by magic. This is like the difference between forcing a key into a stubborn lock and allowing the door to open effortlessly once you've found the correct aligned approach. Your heart's wisdom is not isolated. It is intimately connected to something much larger, much vaster than your individual mind. In Buddhist understanding, it's connected to the inherent wisdom of all life, the universal intelligence that guides flowers to bloom in perfect synchronicity, birds to migrate thousands of miles with unerring precision and seasons to change in their predictable life giving cycles. When you trust this wisdom, you are consciously aligning yourself with the natural, effortless flow of existence itself. This profound alignment creates an undeniable sense of ease, rightness, and deep security that your nervous system instinctively recognizes as safety. And when your nervous system feels truly safe, deep healing sleep comes naturally as an inevitable unfolding. Notice how fundamentally different this feels from attempting to figure everything out with your analytical, often anxious mind. The mind, in its relentless grasping and searching, often creates tension and worry, but the heart rests in knowing. It doesn't need to comprehend every intricate detail or analyze every possible outcome to trust the unfolding process of life. Like a tree that doesn't intellectually understand photosynthesis, but perfectly knows how to turn sunlight into life giving nourishment, your heart intrinsically knows how to navigate life without needing to logically comprehend every single detail. As you continue to rest in this moment, breathing slowly and deeply, allow the fourth sacred line to work its gentle, pervasive magic. Feel how trusting your heart's wisdom creates an expansive space for quiet miracles to unfold, not dramatic, flashy miracles, but the profound, subtle miracles of peace arising naturally, of tension dissolving effortlessly, of sleep coming as a cherished gift rather than something you have to frantically chase or manipulate. This trust itself is a powerful form of prayer, a silent, humble way of saying a resounding yes to the deeper benevolent intelligence that guides your life, both seen and unseen. Your heart has been waiting patiently, perhaps, for a very long time for you to remember and reclaim this profound trust. It has never stopped offering its gentle guidance, even when you've been too busy, too worried, or too distracted to listen. Tonight, as you consciously prepare for the most peaceful and restorative sleep, you are giving your heart the recognition, the reverence, and the honor it so deeply deserves. You are acknowledging that you don't have to possess all the answers or have life meticulously planned out to live wisely and gracefully. You simply need to trust the profound innate wisdom that lives, breathes, and guides from within you. This trust, once cultivated, becomes the sacred bridge between your waking consciousness and the deep, boundless peace that awaits you in the embrace of sleep. Understood. We continue our deep dive into the profound wisdom of the 5 sacred lines. Here is the expanded section for the 5th and final sacred line, I am at peace with all that is, extended to approximately 1,000 words. Section 5, the ultimate acceptance. I am at peace with all that is. We now arrive at the culmination, the sacred apex of our profound practice together. This is the line that in its boundless embrace encompasses all the others, gently yet powerfully guiding you into the deepest, most expansive peace imaginable. I am at peace with all that is. These words, simple in their articulation, yet infinite in their implications, hold the transformative power to utterly reshape your entire relationship with existence itself. They are an unequivocal invitation to release the exhausting, often futile struggle against reality, to cease fighting what simply is, and instead to find profound, unshakable rest in what the Zen masters reverently call the isness of what is. This is not a passive resignation nor a meek surrender to fate. On the contrary, this is the most courageous, most liberating, and most authentically powerful choice you can possibly make. This is choosing the unwavering, profound peace that arises from acceptance over the persistent, self created illusion that fighting reality will somehow magically change its fundamental nature. Consider a poignant tale from a monastery nestled high in the majestic Himalayas, where an old monk resided, celebrated throughout the entire region for his extraordinary serenity and a peace that seemed to emanate from his very pores. Visitors drawn by his reputation would journey from distant lands to understand the mysterious source of his unshakable calm. One particular day, a wealthy merchant, burdened by frustration and bitterness from recently losing his entire fortune in a devastating business deal gone wrong, arrived at the monastery. "Master," he demanded angrily, his voice sharp with resentment, "how can you possibly be at peace when there is so much blatant injustice, so much undeniable suffering, and such profound unfairness in the world? How can you possibly accept what is so clearly unacceptable?" The old monk, his eyes reflecting a deep, fathomless understanding, smiled gently. Without a word, he invited the merchant to walk with him to the monastery garden. There they paused before a magnificent ancient tree that had at some point been struck by a powerful bolt of lightning. Half of the tree stood blackened, stark, and seemingly dead, while the other half remained vibrantly green and thriving, laden with leaves and fruit. "Tell me," the monk asked, his voice soft, "is this tree beautiful or ugly? Is it perfect or flawed?" The merchant looked confused, pondering the paradox. "It's both," he finally conceded hesitantly. "Exactly," the monk replied, his smile widening. "Life is both. When I am at peace with all that is, I see the whole tree. I don't waste precious energy wishing it were different or arguing with its brokenness. I find beauty and truth in what is in its entirety." This story illuminates one of the most profound and liberating truths in all of Buddhist philosophy. Genuine peace doesn't come from having a perfectly curated life where everything flawlessly aligns with your preferences and expectations. Peace comes from cultivating the inner capacity to be okay with life as it actually is, in its raw, unfiltered reality. This includes the undeniably difficult parts, the unexpected challenges that blindside you, the inevitable losses and disappointments, the persistent uncertainty, and the relentless, undeniable force of change. When you can truly be at peace with all that is, you discover a profound freedom that no external circumstance, no matter how challenging, can ever touch or diminish. But what does it truly mean to be at peace with all that is? It is critically important to understand that this does not imply becoming passive, indifferent, or apathetic. It doesn't mean you stop caring about injustice or that you cease working diligently to improve conditions in your life or in the world. Instead, it means you consciously stop arguing with reality as your fundamental starting point. You accept what is as the unalterable foundation from which all positive, skillful action can genuinely arise. It's akin to wanting to travel from Tucson to Hanoi. You cannot begin your journey to Hanoi by denying that you are currently in Tucson. You must accept your current location as your starting point, your ground of being, before you can effectively plan and execute any movement towards your desired destination. As you rest in the growing stillness of this moment, breathing slowly and naturally gently, consider your own intimate relationship with what is in your life right now. Perhaps today brought challenges you didn't anticipate or problems that seemed insurmountable. Maybe there are ongoing situations in your life that you desperately wish were different circumstances that evoke discomfort or anxiety. It's possible that your physical body doesn't feel exactly as you'd like it to feel, or your emotions aren't perfectly peaceful or harmonious. Right now, in this very moment, you have an unparalleled opportunity to practice the most radical form of acceptance, not because these things are inherently good or bad, but simply because they are. There's a famously paradoxical Zen saying that beautifully captures this nuanced understanding. You are perfect as you are, and you could use a little improvement. This profound statement encapsulates the beautiful dynamic paradox of being at peace with all that is. You can simultaneously and completely accept your current reality exactly as it presents itself, and still from that grounded place of acceptance work towards positive conscious change. The crucial difference is that your actions, your efforts, your striving now originate from a place of deep love rather than desperate resistance, from profound wisdom rather than frantic struggle, from inner peace rather than a self defeating war with what is. This fundamental shift in motivation changes absolutely everything. Think about a mighty river flowing around a massive boulder. The river doesn't fight the boulder, nor does it waste its energy trying to violently push it out of its way. It simply flows around it, finding the path of least resistance, gracefully adapting while continuing steadfastly towards its ultimate destination. In precisely the same way, when you are at peace with all that is, you learn to flow around the obstacles and challenges in your life, rather than exhausting yourself by futilely fighting against them. Sometimes, this continuous flowing, this gentle persistence, creates enough force over time to gradually erode and eventually move the boulder. Sometimes it carves a new, perhaps even more beautiful and unexpected path. But always, the river maintains its essential nature of peaceful, effortless flow. This practice becomes especially powerful and profoundly healing as you consciously prepare for sleep. So often, our minds remain relentlessly active at bedtime, precisely because we are still wrestling with the day's unresolved events. We replay conversations, frantically trying to mentally change what was said or done. We worry incessantly about problems, attempting to solve them through endless, unproductive mental repetition. We resist our current state of tiredness, physical discomfort, or emotional upset. All of this relentless mental activity creates the very tension, the very internal friction that actively prevents peaceful, restorative sleep. But when you can genuinely, deeply say, I am at peace with all that is, you immediately stop this exhausting, self-defeating struggle. There's another beautiful teaching story about a student who approached her Zen master complaining bitterly about her inability to meditate effectively. My mind is so incredibly busy, she lamented. I can't stop thinking. I can't achieve the peaceful, silent state I'm supposed to have. The master listened with profound compassion and then with gentle wisdom asked, Are you at peace with having a busy mind? No, she exclaimed, her frustration evident. That's precisely the problem. The master smiled knowingly. Then there's your real practice, he said. First, be at peace with the busy mind. Accept what is. Then just observe what happens. The student, intrigued, decided to try this radically different approach. To her absolute amazement, when she stopped fighting against her thoughts, when she released her desperate need for them to be silent, they naturally began to slow down, to settle, and eventually to dissipate. This is the profound miracle of acceptance. When you stop resisting, what is it often begins to transform naturally, not because you forced it to change, but because resistance itself was what was keeping it stuck and agitated in the first place. It's like relaxing a clenched fist. The moment you stop gripping so tightly, your hand naturally opens. In the same way, when you stop gripping your experience so tightly, trying to make it different from what it is, it often shifts all by itself towards greater peace and ease. Being at peace with all that is also profoundly means being at peace with yourself exactly as you are right now. Perhaps you don't feel like the most patient person today. Perhaps you made mistakes or said things you desperately wish you could take back. You might be carrying physical tension or a subtle emotional heaviness. All of this in this moment is simply part of what is. You don't have to fix yourself or become someone fundamentally different before you can finally be at peace. You can be at peace with your imperfections, your ongoing works in progress, your beautifully human way of navigating life's complexities. In Buddhist understanding, this radical acceptance is paradoxically the very foundation of all genuine, lasting transformation. When a wise gardener plants a seed, she doesn't reject the soil because it's dark and seemingly dirty. She works with the soil as it is, knowing that this very darkness and earthiness are the precise conditions that will nourish the seed and allow it to blossom into a beautiful flower. In the same way, when you are truly at peace with all that is in your life, including the difficult, dark parts, you create the optimal conditions for natural growth, organic unfolding, and positive change to emerge from within. As you practice this fifth sacred line tonight, feel how it encompasses and completes all the previous lines, weaving them into a seamless tapestry of peace. Your gratitude for the day's journey becomes infinitely deeper when you are truly at peace with all that the day contained: the joys, the sorrows, the successes, and the struggles. Your release of what no longer serves becomes more complete and effortless when you are not fighting against having carried those burdens in the first place. Your embrace of inner stillness becomes more profound and accessible when you are at peace with whatever thoughts or sensations arise within that stillness. Your trust in your heart's wisdom becomes stronger and more natural when you are at peace with the inherent uncertainty of life that often requires such deep trust. Notice too how being at peace with all that is fundamentally affects your physical body. When you stop arguing with reality, when you cease the internal war with what is, your muscles naturally begin to soften, a deep relaxation settling over you. When you genuinely cease resisting your current experience, your breathing deepens and slows, effortlessly finding its most restorative rhythm. When you accept what is, your nervous system receives a clear, unequivocal message that it is profoundly safe to rest, to let go, to surrender. This isn't something you have to force. This is the innate, natural response of a system that no longer perceives the need to fight, to flee, or to be on high alert. Feel yourself sinking even deeper into this profound, unconditional acceptance, like settling into the most perfectly warm, exquisitely comfortable bath imaginable. You don't have to change anything about this moment to make it acceptable. The temperature of the room, The subtle sounds you might hear in the distance, the thoughts gracefully passing through your mind, the gentle feelings within your body, all of it can simply be exactly as it is. You are learning to be a gracious, open hearted host to your own experience, welcoming whatever appears within your consciousness without judgment, without resistance, without the need for anything to be different. This profound peace with all that is becomes your true pathway into the most restorative, most healing sleep. When you are no longer carrying the exhausting tension of internal resistance, when you are not expending precious mental energy to fight against reality, when you are simply resting in the complete, unconditional acceptance of what is deep sleep comes as naturally and inevitably as night follows day. Your body instinctively recognizes this state of non-resistance as the perfect ideal condition for profound healing and deep regeneration. Your mind no longer tasked with the impossible burden of changing what cannot be changed can finally truly rest. In this sacred moment, as you speak these profound words, either aloud in a soft whisper or silently within the deep chamber of your heart, you are actively participating in one of the most ancient and undeniably powerful practices known to humanity. You are consciously choosing peace over struggle, acceptance over resistance, boundless love over debilitating fear. You are aligning yourself with the timeless wisdom of countless seekers who have, through their own direct experience, discovered that true peace is not the absence of challenges, but the unwavering presence of acceptance in the face of all things. This is your initiation into the deepest possible rest, the most profound peace, the sleep that heals not just your physical body, but your very soul to its deepest core. Okay, we are nearing the completion of our expansion. We have explored each of the 5 sacred lines individually, delving deep into their meaning. The next logical step, as per the original transcript, is to weave these lines together into a unified practice. This will be the 6th section of our expanded text. Section 6, Weaving the Lines Together, the Sacred Practice. Now that you've encountered each of the 5 sacred lines, individually immersing yourself in their profound wisdom and allowing their essence to settle within your being, it's time to experience them as they were always meant to be experienced, as a unified, cohesive practice. Imagine them not as separate teachings, but as facets of a single luminous jewel, each one reflecting and amplifying the light of the others. When spoken together, whether in the quiet sanctuary of your bedroom or whispered silently in the temple of your heart, they create a sacred, unbreakable bridge between the day you've just lived and the profound restorative rest you are about to receive. In the hallowed halls of ancient Buddhist monasteries, this transition from the bustling activity of day to the peaceful embrace of night was regarded as one of the most important, indeed sacred, spiritual practices. The monks, with their deep understanding of the subtle interconnectedness of all things, intuitively knew that how you consciously end your day fundamentally determines not only the quality of your sleep, but also how you will authentically begin the very next day. Sleep in this profound spiritual context isn't just a biological necessity, a mere cessation of activity. It is, in fact, a powerful, sacred, spiritual opportunity. It's a precious time when your conscious, analytical mind gently steps aside, allowing deeper healing processes, profound integration of daily experiences, and innate wisdom to effortlessly emerge from the wellspring of your subconscious. The five sacred lines, when woven together, meticulously prepare your entire being, your physical body, your active mind, and your subtle spirit to fully receive these invaluable gifts. Let's embark on this unified practice, now speaking the lines together slowly and with deep, unwavering intention. As you gently speak each line, whether aloud in a soft, hushed whisper or silently within the quiet chamber of your heart, allow its profound meaning to penetrate not just your fleeting thoughts, but your entire being, your very essence. Feel how each word carries the immense weight of centuries of accumulated wisdom, the cumulative power of countless souls who have, through their own direct experience, found profound peace and liberation through these very same timeless principles. I am grateful for this day's journey. Feel this profound gratitude rising organically from the deepest well springs of your being, expanding to encompass absolutely everything that happened today. The easy moments, the challenging ones, the expected joys, the surprising twists, the moments of profound contentment, and the stretches of genuine difficulty. All of it, without exception, was an integral, essential part of your soul's unique curriculum for growth, for learning, for becoming more fully yourself. Rest deeply in the comforting recognition that you have been exactly where you needed to be, learning precisely what you needed to learn. This isn't a forced thankfulness, but a deep acceptance of the day as a complete, perfect journey. Let this gratitude fill every cell, preparing your entire being for a deep, satisfying rest. I release what no longer serves. With each gentle exhale, feel yourself letting go effortlessly and completely of anything that has been weighing you down, holding you captive, or causing you undue strain. This includes old lingering resentments, current unresolved worries, unfulfilled expectations that cling to your mind, and any physical tensions you've been unconsciously carrying in your body. You don't need to meticulously analyze or intellectually dissect what specifically needs to be released. Simply set the clear, compassionate intention to let go and trust that your deeper innate wisdom intuitively knows precisely what burdens to release. Feel the profound lightness that comes with this sacred act of letting go, a lightness that prepares you for deeper surrender. I embrace the stillness within. Now gently turn your attention inward, deep into that sacred, tranquil place of perfect peace that exists eternally untouched at your very core. This profound stillness is not something you need to frantically create or painstakingly achieve. It is, in essence, something you simply need to remember, to recognize, and to lovingly embrace. Beneath all the incessant mental activity, beneath all the fluctuating emotional currents, you are fundamentally, unshakably still. Rest completely in this liberating recognition. Allow this boundless stillness to embrace you as much as you consciously choose to embrace it, drawing you into its timeless, peaceful depths. I trust the wisdom of my heart. Gently place one hand over your physical heart and feel its steady rhythmic beat, a constant, reliable companion throughout your entire life. This sacred heart has been guiding you with perfect, unwavering wisdom your entire life, leading you through countless decisions. It knows how to love unconditionally, how to genuinely forgive, how to choose what truly serves your highest good and your deepest well-being. Trust without hesitation that this same profound wisdom is guiding you now effortlessly toward the exact rest, healing, and renewal you need tonight. You don't have to figure anything out, control any outcome, or plan any next steps. You can simply profoundly trust. I am at peace with all that is. Finally, feel yourself settling into a state of complete, unconditional acceptance of this moment, exactly as it is, without any need for alteration. Nothing needs to be different for you to be okay, truly okay, right here, right now. You don't have to solve any lingering problems or fix any external situations before you can finally allow yourself to rest. Right here, right now, in this very moment, exactly as things are, you can choose to be profoundly at peace. This boundless peace encompassing all that is becomes your effortless doorway into the most deeply restorative sleep imaginable. Notice the beautiful organic flow that speaking these lines together creates. It's a seamless journey from gratitude that gracefully completes the day through release, that clears space for rest from the embrace of stillness, that opens the doorway to deeper states through trust that allows for complete surrender, culminating in a state of complete peace. Each line meticulously prepares you for the next like perfectly carved steps, leading you down deeper and deeper into the tranquil healing waters of profound rest. By the time you reach the final line, your entire being, body, mind, and spirit has been meticulously prepared for the sacred act of sleep, primed for deep restoration. There's a profound, almost mystical rhythm to this practice that beautifully mirrors the inherent natural rhythms of life itself. Just as the vibrant day flows gracefully into the quiet night, just as the powerful tide moves from its highest point to its lowest ebb, just as your own breath moves in the natural, effortless dance from inhale to exhale, these lines gently guide you from the active, outward-focused consciousness of daytime into the receptive, inward-focused consciousness of deep sleep. You are not forcing this essential transition. You are honoring it, blessing it, making it profoundly sacred. You are aligning with the cosmic dance. In Zen Buddhism, there exists a powerful concept known as ceremonial mind, Gasho Shita Kokoro. This teaching encourages bringing the same deep reverence, the same meticulous attention, and the same sacred presence to simple everyday activities that you would typically reserve for a grand formal spiritual ritual. When you consciously speak these 5 lines before sleep, you are not merely engaging in a routine. You are transforming the ordinary act of going to bed into a profound, sacred ceremony. You are explicitly acknowledging that rest is not just a physical requirement, but a spiritual imperative. You are honoring sleep as an invaluable gift, a vital part of your spiritual journey, rather than merely taking it for granted. This shift in perspective infuses the entire act with deeper meaning and intention. As you continue to practice with these lines, night after night, with gentle consistency and patience, you will undoubtedly notice that they begin to work their subtle magic even more deeply within your being. The first few times, you might need to consciously think about what each line means, perhaps intellectually analyzing its components. But gradually, imperceptibly, the profound wisdom embedded within these words will become embodied, truly integrated into your very being. Your body will begin to instinctively relax as soon as you begin the practice, almost anticipating the peace. Your mind will naturally quiet more easily. Your heart will gently open to receive the profound peace that is its birthright. The lines themselves will transform into a cherished lullaby, a deeply resonant song that your entire being recognizes as the unequivocal signal for deep, unwavering peace. Some nights, you might find that one particular line resonates more powerfully, more urgently than the others. Perhaps you especially need to practice gratitude after a particularly difficult or challenging day. Maybe the profound wisdom of release is calling to you after you've been unconsciously holding on to something too tightly or for too long. Trust this gentle intuition. You can and should spend extra time with whichever line your heart is most drawn to, allowing its wisdom to soak more deeply into your consciousness. The practice is inherently flexible, fluid, and profoundly adaptable, meant to serve your unique evolving needs in each precious moment. Other nights, you might find that the lines carry you so deeply and quickly into peace that you effortlessly drift into sleep before even finishing all five. This is not only acceptable, but it is perfect. The intention itself is incredibly powerful. Merely beginning the practice signals to your entire being that it's time for sacred restorative rest. Don't worry about completing every single word perfectly or meticulously following the sequence. Sleep is the ultimate goal, not flawless recitation. The beauty of the practice lies in its gentle guiding nature, not in rigid adherence. Feel deeply how this consistent practice creates a sacred, protected container for your sleep, a blessed space. Just as a beautifully crafted chalice makes ordinary water feel precious and consecrated, these sacred lines transform ordinary sleep into something truly sacred, a spiritual journey. You are not just closing your eyes and hoping for the best. You are consciously, intentionally preparing yourself to fully receive the profound gifts that sleep unfailingly offers: deep physical healing, emotional integration, spiritual nourishment, and the profound, complete renewal of your vital life force. As we continue through this long, gentle practice tonight, notice how the repetition of these profound principles, articulated in subtly different ways, allows them to sink deeper and deeper into the very fabric of your consciousness. Like life-giving water, slowly, patiently soaking into dry, thirsty earth, these timeless truths require time to penetrate the layers of conditioning, the ingrained habits of stress and worry that might initially resist peace. But with unwavering patience and gentle, consistent persistence, they gradually transform the very soil of your being into rich, fertile ground for the most beautiful, most profound, and most restorative rest imaginable. The five sacred lines become more than just words. They become your personalized mantra, your deepest prayer, your gentle incantation that effortlessly opens the doorway between worlds, between the world of doing and the world of being, between the world of strenuous effort and the world of effortless grace, between the world of complex mental activity and the world of simple, profound, unshakable peace. This is the sacred threshold you consciously choose to cross each and every night. And these ancient words, these luminous truths, are your faithful, unwavering guides across that sacred bridge. As your body settles even deeper into the profound, tender embrace of rest, and your breathing continues its slow, rhythmic descent, inviting you into the liminal space between waking and sleeping. Let's now explore some of the most beautiful and insightful Zen teachings concerning the night, the true nature of sleep, and the profound peace that becomes effortlessly possible when we consciously align ourselves with the timeless natural rhythms of existence. These stories are not merely anecdotes, they are profound koans, whispered truths that have been lovingly shared around monastery hearths for centuries, meticulously passed down from enlightened teacher to earnest student like precious, invaluable gifts. They illuminate truths that your rational, analytical mind might initially struggle to fully grasp, but that your intuitive heart immediately recognizes as resonant and deeply familiar. There once lived a revered Zen master who resided in a small, unassuming temple at the tranquil edge of a bustling village. Every evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with hues of orange and purple, villagers would notice a soft, unwavering light glowing from his meditation hall, a gentle beacon that remained visible throughout the entire night. Curious about this extraordinary practice, a young earnest student, emboldened by his inquiry, finally asked the master one morning, "Master, why do you meditate all night? Don't you, like all of us, need sleep?" The master smiled gently, his eyes twinkling with ancient wisdom, and replied, "Who told you I don't sleep? I sleep so deeply that even while sitting upright, my body rests completely, utterly. The profound difference is that I don't lose consciousness of the peace within. I have meticulously learned to carry the meditation into sleep, and conversely to carry the sleep into meditation. They are not opposites, those not separate states. Rather, they are exquisite dance partners, each enriching the other. This story points to something truly profound about the nature of genuine rest and awakened consciousness. Most of us perceive sleep and wakefulness as entirely separate, distinct states, like two different worlds. But the deepest spiritual teachings, particularly within Zen, suggest that there is a continuous, underlying awareness that can remain present and vibrant through both states, an unbroken thread of consciousness. This is not the busy analytical awareness of the everyday fragmented mind. This is the gentle, expansive, peaceful awareness of your deepest, most fundamental being. When you consistently practice the 5 sacred lines, you are in essence learning to carry this peaceful, unified awareness with you as you gracefully transition into the welcoming embrace of sleep. Another poignant story tells of a sincere student who came to her teacher expressing deep distress over her persistent trouble sleeping. "My mind races endlessly all night," she lamented, her voice tinged with exhaustion. "I worry incessantly about everything I did wrong during the day, endlessly replaying conversations, and then my mind immediately jumps to everything that might possibly go wrong tomorrow. How can I ever find peace, master, when my own mind betrays me?" The teacher, with a compassionate gaze, handed her a small, intricately carved wooden bell. "Tonight," he instructed gently, "when you lie down to sleep, ring this bell once, and then simply listen with all your attention to the sound until it completely fades away into silence." He continued, "When your mind starts racing again, as it surely will, ring it once more and listen. But understand this crucial point. Don't ring it to stop the thoughts. Ring it to remember that you are the listener, the spacious awareness, not the thoughts themselves." The student, hopeful, tried this profound practice. At first, she found herself ringing the bell frequently as her mind churned with its familiar cascade of activity. But gradually, subtly, something profound shifted. She began to effortlessly rest in the liberating identity of the listener, the observer, rather than becoming entangled and lost in the dense, chaotic content of what was being listened to. Her thoughts were like ephemeral sounds, arising and fading away in the vast, boundless space of her awareness, like birdsong in an open field. This sacred, spacious awareness remained peaceful, utterly undisturbed regardless of what sounds or thoughts appeared within it. As she rested deeper in this spacious, listening sleep began to come naturally, effortlessly like a gentle wave washing over her. This teaching profoundly illuminates the essence of the third sacred line, I embrace the stillness within. The stillness is not the mere absence of thoughts or sensations. It is rather the peaceful, unmoving space in which all thoughts and sensations arise, play out, and then naturally subside. When you learn to identify with this boundless space, this awareness, rather than with the perpetually changing contents of your experience, you discover an inner peace that absolutely nothing can disturb. This peace, in its inherent nature, effortlessly carries you into the most restorative, profound sleep. There's another beautiful and often quoted story about a Zen monk who was renowned for waking up each and every morning in precisely the same peaceful, serene state he had cultivated when he went to sleep. Whether he had pleasant dreams or disturbing nightmares, whether he slept deeply or lightly, whether he was awakened by external sounds or slept through the night undisturbed, he always awoke with the same gentle, knowing smile, a profound sense of inner calm radiating from him. When asked about this remarkable, consistent serenity, he explained with profound simplicity, I don't go to sleep, I go to peace. And peace doesn't depend on the particular experiences that arise within it. Dreams come and go, but I remain at peace. Sleep comes and goes, but I remain at peace. Morning comes, but the peace remains unwavering. This story reveals the deepest, most cherished secret of the 5 sacred lines. They are not merely sophisticated techniques for getting better sleep or tools to manipulate a desired outcome. They are fundamentally doorways into a state of being, a quality of consciousness that transcends the temporary ups and downs, the fleeting nature of particular experiences. When you truly embody and integrate these principles, you discover that genuine, lasting peace isn't dependent on external circumstances, on perfect conditions, or on having everything go your way. It is in its essence your natural intrinsic state, temporarily obscured by ingrained mental habits, by cultural conditioning, by the noise of the world, but always eternally available to be rediscovered and reclaimed. In yet another monastery, there lived an old monk who had developed the most unusual yet profoundly insightful practice. Every single night before preparing for sleep, he would bow deeply with profound reverence to his humble bed. Students, initially finding this strange and inexplicable, eventually asked him about it. "Why do you bow to your bed, master?" they inquired, baffled. He replied with a gentle, knowing smile, "I bow to honor the great teacher that my bed is. Every night without fail, it teaches me the profound art of letting go. It shows me how to surrender completely, how to trust in being supported, how to release all effort and simply receive. My bed is a master of non-doing, of effortless being. It has much more to teach about the true way of peace." This story beautifully illustrates the essence of the 4th sacred line, I trust the wisdom of my heart The heart's profound wisdom often manifests as a natural intuitive knowing of when to act with intention and when to simply rest, when to strive diligently, and when to gracefully surrender. Your bed in this profound context becomes a silent, unwavering teacher in the subtle art of receiving rather than grasping, of being effortlessly supported rather than constantly having to support everything yourself. When you consciously lie down with this spirit of deep receptivity and profound trust, sleep transcends mere biological necessity and becomes in its purest form a spiritual practice, a conscious act of surrender and renewal. There's a famous Zen saying, "You are perfect as you are, and you could use a little improvement." A perceptive student once asked her master how this beautiful paradox applied specifically to the act of sleep. The master, ever insightful, replied, "Your sleep is perfect, as it is whether it's deep or light, whether you dream vividly or don't dream at all, whether you sleep for many hours or just a few, and your sleep could use a little improvement. You could approach it with more reverence, more gratitude, more conscious preparation, more acceptance." The improvement, he clarified, isn't in trying to change the sleep itself or force it to be something it isn't, but in profoundly changing your relationship to it. When you consciously honor sleep as sacred as a vital, essential part of your being, even what might seem like imperfect sleep becomes a profound doorway to deeper peace. This teaching connects intimately to the fifth sacred line, "I am at peace with all that is." Being at peace with all that is includes being at peace with how you sleep, how you rest, how your body and mind behave during the night. Some nights you might toss and turn your mind busy. Other nights you might sleep like a baby. Both experiences can be approached with the same spirit of unconditional acceptance and profound peace. The goal truly isn't perfect sleep. The goal is perfect peace with whatever sleep in its unique wisdom arises. One of the most profound and evocative Zen teachings about the night comes from a master who was asked about the fundamental difference between ordinary sleep and enlightened sleep. He said, "Ordinary sleep is like a temporary death. Consciousness disappears and you become unconscious, oblivious. Enlightened sleep is like a temporary rebirth. You die to the small, limited self, but you remain conscious as pure, expansive awareness. In ordinary sleep, you lose yourself. In enlightened sleep, you find yourself in your true, unbound nature." The 5 sacred lines are not just gentle affirmations. They are in their essence a form of conscious training for this kind of awakened conscious rest. Don't worry if this elevated level of conscious sleep seems far beyond your current experience or even your present comprehension. The enduring beauty and inherent wisdom of these teachings is that they work gradually, gently, almost imperceptibly, transforming your intimate relationship with rest night by night, layer by layer. Simply having the genuine intention to approach sleep as a spiritual practice, as a sacred opportunity, begins to subtly shift absolutely everything within your being. Your body learns to relax more deeply. Your mind learns to quiet more easily. Your spirit learns to rest securely in the boundless peace that you truly are always and eternally. As you continue to rest in this moment, feeling your body settling even deeper into comfort and your breathing becoming slower and more rhythmic, know that you're participating in an ancient, timeless tradition of conscious rest. Countless beings across cultures and millennia have walked this very path before you, discovering through direct experience that sleep can be not just a biological necessity, but a profound spiritual opportunity. Each night becomes a unique chance to practice dying to the small separate self and awakening, however subtly, to the vast interconnected self. Each morning becomes a fresh opportunity to bring this cultivated peace into your daily activities, into your interactions, into your very way of being in the world. The Zen masters profoundly understood that how you sleep intrinsically affects how you live, and conversely, how you live profoundly affects how you sleep. The five sacred lines create a seamless flowing bridge between these two essential states of being, infusing both with the same spirit of profound gratitude, gentle release, unwavering stillness, deep trust, and ultimate peace. This truly is how ordinary sleep is transformed into enlightened rest. This is how ordinary rest becomes a profound doorway to extraordinary enduring peace. As we continue this gentle transformative journey together, settling ever deeper into the profound pervasive peace that comes from consciously aligning with ancient wisdom. Let's now explore precisely how each sacred line works its magic, not just on the conscious surface of your mind, but in the very depths of your being. The deliberate practice of speaking these lines before sleep is akin to dropping precious, potent seeds into the rich, fertile soil of your subconscious mind, while your conscious mind gratefully rests. Allowing its daily activity to subside, these seeds of profound wisdom take firm root, gradually growing and blossoming into new, deeply embedded patterns of peace that will bless and enrich every single area of your life, subtly shaping your reality from within. In the mystical, often snow-capped mountains of Tibet, there exists a profound monastic practice known as dream yoga. This isn't merely about controlling your dreams or consciously having vivid, lucid experiences for entertainment. Rather, it's a sophisticated spiritual discipline focused on maintaining a continuous awareness of your true nature, your inherent Buddha mind, even while you are deep in the embrace of sleep. The practice begins long before sleep ever arrives, through the rigorous cultivation of specific intentions and elevated states of consciousness throughout the day. The five sacred lines we've been exploring, in their profound simplicity, represent a streamlined, accessible version of this ancient practice, made readily available to anyone who earnestly seeks deeper, more restorative rest and a greater, more pervasive sense of inner peace in their daily lives. Let's examine the subtle yet powerful mechanisms at play for each line. The first line, I am grateful for this day's journey, works deeply on what Buddhist teachers and modern psychologists alike refer to as the gratitude layer of consciousness. When you consistently choose to end your day with genuine heartfelt appreciation, regardless of the day's apparent texture, you are actively, intentionally programming your subconscious mind to instinctively look for reasons to be grateful. This is far more than mere positive thinking or a naive denial of difficulties. This is a sophisticated, deeply effective training of your intrinsic awareness, guiding it to consistently recognize the myriad gifts that are always present, perpetually available, even amidst the most challenging or seemingly mundane circumstances. Over time, This consistent practice literally rewires your neural pathways, strengthening the connections that facilitate positive emotion and well being, making gratitude your default automatic response rather than something you have to effortfully conjure or force yourself to feel. Think of your mind, your entire consciousness, like a meticulously tended garden. Throughout the busy day, all kinds of seeds are inadvertently planted. Seeds of worry might be sown by the news you watched. Seeds of frustration could spring from unexpected traffic delays or daily annoyances. Seeds of self doubt might be planted by comparing yourself to others on social media. If you drift off to sleep without consciously choosing what seeds to water, these random, often negative plantings will grow wild unchecked, producing an unruly mental landscape. But when you consciously choose to end each day by diligently watering the precious seeds of gratitude, you ensure with unwavering certainty that appreciation, contentment, and profound peace are what truly flourish and thrive in the sacred garden of your consciousness. There's a beautiful illustrative story from ancient China about a wise farmer who discovered over many seasons that the exceptional quality and abundance of his crops depended not merely on what he meticulously planted in the spring, but crucially on how he prepared the soil in the depths of winter. During the cold, dormant months, when the fields appeared empty, barren, and lifeless, he would quietly walk among them, speaking words of deep appreciation and thankfulness to the earth itself. He would verbally thank the soil for its patience, the rain for its consistent nourishment, and the unseen sun for its life-giving warmth. Other more conventional farmers mocked him, considering it absurd to talk to mere dirt. But when spring arrived, his fields unfailingly produced the most abundant, most vibrant harvest in the entire region. The earth remembers every word, every intention, he would simply say with a knowing smile. Gratitude spoken in winter blooms as abundance in spring. Your subconscious mind is precisely like this wise farmer's fertile soil. It meticulously remembers every thought, every feeling, every intention you plant just before sleep. When you consistently plant the seeds of gratitude, you meticulously create the optimal conditions for peace, contentment, and authentic fulfillment to grow naturally and robustly in your waking life. This is not magical thinking. This is a profound understanding of how consciousness fundamentally works. What you consciously focus on expands. What you sincerely appreciate appreciates in value and presence. The very last thoughts and feelings before sleep hold a special amplified power because they marinate unimpeded in your mind for hours, soaking deep into your being without conscious interference. As you rest here now, breathing slowly and deeply lovingly, notice how gratitude genuinely feels in your body. When you allow yourself to truly and sincerely appreciate something, perhaps the enveloping warmth of your blankets, the comforting softness of your pillow, or the simple continuous miracle of your breath moving effortlessly in and out without conscious effort, your entire nervous system relaxes, letting go of its vigilance. Gratitude in this context is like a gentle, profound massage for your very soul. It softens what has become hardened by stress, gently opens what has become closed by fear or resentment, and tenderly heals what has become wounded by life's inevitable challenges. The second sacred line: I release what no longer serves works deeply on what we might term the letting go layer of consciousness. This essential practice is rooted in the fundamental Buddhist understanding that suffering arises not intrinsically from what happens to us, but fundamentally from our persistent, often unconscious resistance to what happens to us. When we desperately cling to experiences that have already passed, replaying them endlessly, or frantically grasp after experiences we wish would come, we inadvertently create tension, constriction, and internal friction in the very fabric of our being. The practice of conscious release teaches us the exquisite art of holding life lightly, gracefully, like cupping pure, clear water in our hands, allowing it to flow through, nourishing us without attempting to grasp or hold it. In a revered monastery in ancient India, there lived a monk renowned for his extraordinary ability to remain perpetually peaceful and utterly unperturbed regardless of any external circumstances. Students seeking his secret would often ask him how he maintained such profound equanimity. He would gently lead them to the monastery garden, where a beautiful ornate fountain flowed continuously, its water sparkling in the sunlight. "Watch the water," he would say, his voice imbued with deep wisdom. "It never tries to hold on to itself. It never resists flowing. It never becomes attached to any particular form or container. This is why it remains pure and beautiful. This is why it can nourish everything it touches, giving life freely. When you learn to live like water," he concluded, "you discover the true secret of peace." This profound teaching beautifully illuminates the deep, liberating wisdom of release. When you desperately hold on to grievances, they become stagnant, toxic pools of resentment that poison your inner landscape. When you grip your expectations too tightly, they become rigid, fragile structures that reality inevitably breaks, leading to disappointment. But when you learn to genuinely let go, to flow like water, you discover an unparalleled flexibility, a profound resilience, and an innate capacity to adapt gracefully to any circumstance that life presents. This doesn't mean becoming passive or uncaring. It means caring so deeply for your own peace and well-being that you're willing to release your small, limited ideas about how things should be in order to align with the larger, wiser, and more benevolent flow of life itself. The consistent practice of nightly release works on your consciousness like a gentle internal detox. Throughout the day, you inevitably accumulate subtle, emotional, and mental toxins, tiny resentments, minor frustrations, fleeting disappointments, moments of self-judgment. If these aren't consciously, intentionally released, they gradually build up over time, creating a pervasive background level of tension, subtle anxiety, and dissatisfaction that undermines your peace. But when you end each day by intentionally letting go of what no longer serves your highest good, you prevent this harmful accumulation. You go to sleep feeling clean, clear, and unburdened, ready to receive whatever profound gifts the night might bring. Truly feel how this conscious release deeply affects your physical body. As you let go of the need to control outcomes, to constantly manipulate your external world, your jaw might soften, releasing unconscious tension. As you release lingering resentment towards someone who hurt you, your shoulders might naturally drop, easing their burden. As you stop fighting against a situation you genuinely cannot change from your bed, your entire body might sink even deeper into rest, a profound sigh of relief escaping your being. This undeniable physical relaxation is your body's profound way of saying, "Thank you for choosing peace over struggle, ease over effort." The third sacred line, "I embrace the stillness within," points directly to what Buddhist teachers call your Buddha nature, the inherently peaceful, boundless awareness that is your deepest, most authentic identity. This stillness is not an illusion or a distant goal. It isn't something you need to frantically create or painstakingly achieve through forced effort. It is in its essence something you simply need to recognize, to acknowledge, and to lovingly embrace. Like the vast accommodating space in which all thoughts arise and then naturally dissipate, this stillness is always present, eternally available, whether you are consciously aware of it or not. The practice then is learning to gently rest your attention in this spacious, unmoving awareness rather than becoming entangled and lost in the ever changing, often turbulent contents of your experience. There's a deeply insightful teaching story about a student who spent many arduous years trying to quiet her mind through diligent meditation. She would sit for hours, fighting fiercely against her thoughts, trying desperately to force her mind into a state of absolute silence. The harder she tried, the more agitated and restless she became. Finally, in a moment of profound desperation, she approached her wise teacher. "Master," she exclaimed, her voice weary, "I've been practicing for years, but my mind is still so incredibly busy, I can't stop thinking. I can't achieve the peaceful, silent state I'm supposed to find." The teacher listened with deep compassion and then, with a gentle, penetrating gaze, asked, "Who is aware of this busy mind?" The student paused, surprised by the simplicity of the question. "I am," she replied softly. "And what is the nature of this I that is aware?" The teacher continued, inviting her deeper. As the student gently turned her attention away from the relentless contents of her awareness, the thoughts, and towards the awareness itself, she discovered something truly amazing. The awareness itself was naturally still, inherently peaceful, perfectly present, and utterly unaffected by the activity it observed. It had been there all along, pristine and untouched, like the clear blue sky behind the clouds, always available. This is the profound stillness within that you are learning to consciously embrace. It's not the opposite of activity. It is the peaceful, unchanging space in which all activity arises, plays out, and eventually subsides. When you learn to rest your attention in this stillness, you are not trying to stop your thoughts or eliminate your emotions. You are simply recognizing that you are the unchanging awareness, the witnessing presence in which thoughts and emotions appear and disappear like fleeting reflections on a calm lake. This recognition brings immediate and profound peace because you stop mistakenly identifying with the transient turbulence and begin to identify with the underlying unshakable calm. As you practice embracing this stillness tonight, notice that it's not something foreign, esoteric, or difficult to access. It is as natural and effortless as breathing itself, as intimate and undeniable as your own heartbeat. Right now, as you lie here, listening to these guiding words, you are aware. This very awareness itself is the stillness. You are not thinking about stillness or imagining stillness. You are stillness. Feel how simply resting in this profound recognition immediately relaxes your entire being, inviting an exquisite peace to settle deeply within you. Understood. We continue with the expansion of the practice of mindful rest, deepening your sacred sleep section, focusing now on the final two sacred lines within this context. Section 8 continued the practice of mindful rest, deepening your sacred sleep, building upon the foundations of gratitude, release, and stillness. We now turn our attention to the remaining sacred lines, understanding how they further cultivate your deepest, most restorative rest. The fourth sacred line, I trust the wisdom of my heart, connects you directly with what ancient teachings lovingly call your inner guru, the profound, infallible teacher that resides deep within your own being. This wisdom isn't merely fleeting sentiment or raw emotion, though it certainly encompasses those. This is a deeper, more enduring knowing that organically arises from the sacred intersection of pure wisdom and unconditional love. Your heart, in its profound capacity, knows things that your logical, analytical mind hasn't yet had the chance to meticulously figure out. It intrinsically knows what you truly need for your deepest well-being and authentic flourishing. It knows how to love unconditionally, even when others might be difficult. It knows how to forgive completely, releasing the heavy burdens of resentment. It knows how to rest securely in unwavering trust, even when external circumstances seem uncertain, chaotic, or frightening. In the timeless tradition of Zen Buddhism, there's a nuanced practice known as listening with the heart ear. This doesn't literally mean listening with your physical auditory organs, but rather, it's a profound invitation to learn to perceive with your deeper, more subtle, intuitive capacity. When you learn to genuinely listen with your heart ear, you can begin to hear the profound wisdom that speaks in the language of silence, the gentle guidance that comes through subtle feeling rather than explicit thought, the undeniable truth that reveals itself through direct knowing rather than laborious intellectual analysis. This is the heart's unique way of communicating a language often obscured by the mind's relentless chatter. One of the most beautiful and liberating aspects of truly trusting your heart's wisdom is that it organically connects you with the vast inherent intelligence of life itself. Your heart beats in a harmonious rhythm with the very pulse of the universe. Your breath moves in perfect synchronicity with the universal breath of all living beings. When you consciously choose to trust this deeper, innate wisdom, you are aligning yourself with forces far larger, infinitely wiser, and undeniably more benevolent than your individual limited mind could ever conceive. This profound alignment immediately creates an undeniable sense of being deeply held, eternally supported, and intrinsically safe. A sensation that allows for the deepest, most effortless relaxation possible. Think about the countless times in your life when you've made decisions from your heart, from a place of deep intuition, rather than from fear, external pressure, or rigid societal expectations. Perhaps it was choosing a partner who felt like coming home, even if they didn't look good on paper. Maybe it was bravely pursuing a creative passion that ignited your soul rather than a more conventional career that only promised security, or standing up for something you deeply believed in, even when it was incredibly difficult or unpopular. These heart-based choices, more often than not, led to the most fulfilling, most authentically joyful experiences of your life. This is your heart's wisdom in powerful, undeniable action. As you prepare for sleep tonight, Feel how consciously trusting your heart's wisdom allows you to gracefully release the desperate need to figure everything out with your analytical mind. Your heart knows implicitly that you don't have to solve every problem or mentally map out every possible future scenario before you can finally allow yourself to rest. It knows that sleep itself is a profound active healing process and that genuine solutions and breakthrough insights often arise naturally and effortlessly from a place of deep rest rather than frantic struggle. This deep, unwavering trust in your heart becomes like a gentle, resonant lullaby, softly singing you toward the most peaceful, most regenerative sleep imaginable. The fifth sacred line, I am at peace with all that is, represents the profound culmination, the ultimate goal of all Buddhist practice. This is not a passive resignation nor a superficial spiritual bypassing of uncomfortable truths. This is in its purest form the most radical, most courageous acceptance possible, the profound willingness to embrace reality exactly as it presents itself as your unshakable starting point for any truly positive, skillful action. When you are truly at peace with what is, you immediately stop wasting precious energy fighting against reality, against the current moment. Instead, you can channel that energy, now liberated, for creative, constructive, and compassionate responses to life's challenges. There's a famous Zen story about a master who, when asked about the fundamental secret of happiness, replied simply, I never argue with reality. He elaborated, when it's raining, I let it rain. When it's sunny, I let it shine. When I'm sad, I allow myself to be sad. When I'm happy, I allow myself to be happy. He continued, the secret is not resistance. What you resist persists and grows stronger. What you accept begins to transform and integrate. This profound acceptance doesn't mean you become passive or stop working for positive change. It means you accept your starting point completely authentically so that your actions, your efforts, your responses come from a place of deep love rather than exhausting resistance from innate wisdom, rather than knee-jerk reactivity from fundamental peace rather than internal struggle. When you are truly at peace with all that is, your actions become infinitely more effective, more graceful, and more aligned because they are in harmony with reality rather than futilely fighting against it. As you practice this final sacred line, feel how it beautifully encompasses and completes all the others. Your gratitude for the day's journey becomes infinitely deeper when you are truly at peace with all that your day contained, embracing both its perceived blessings and its challenges. Your release of what no longer serves becomes more complete and effortless when you are not fighting against having carried burdens in the first place, but simply accepting that they were there. Your embrace of inner stillness becomes more profound and easily accessible when you are at peace with whatever arises in that stillness, whether it's fleeting thoughts or subtle sensations. Your trust in your heart's wisdom becomes stronger, more reliable, when you are at peace with the inherent uncertainty of life itself, which often requires such deep trust. Notice, too, how being at peace with all that is fundamentally affects your relationship with sleep itself. You don't have to have perfectly silent conditions or an absence of any physical discomfort or the resolution of every problem to rest well. You can simply be at peace with your tiredness, at peace with any subtle physical sensations, at peace with the thoughts and feelings that continue to arise and pass away as you settle into rest. This radical, unconditional peace becomes the perfect, fertile foundation for the most deeply healing sleep imaginable. When you are not fighting against your thoughts or trying to force your body to feel different, when you are simply profoundly at peace with exactly how things are right now, your nervous system receives the clearest, most unequivocal signal that it is safe to let go completely, to surrender fully. This is what allows the deepest, most healing sleep to emerge naturally, effortlessly as a gift. Together, these 5 sacred lines create what we might beautifully call a peace spiral. Each line deepens the peace created by the previous one, and this deepening peace, in turn, creates the perfect conditions for even deeper, more profound rest. As you continue to practice with these lines night after night with gentle consistency, you will find that they gradually become like old, trusted friends. Your body will begin to relax almost immediately as you begin the practice anticipating the peace. Your mind will naturally quiet more easily, like a calm lake. Your heart will open effortlessly receiving, and sleep will come not as something you frantically chase or desperately manipulate, but as a cherished gift you gracefully receive, a natural unfolding of your deepest being. In the gentle depths of approaching sleep, as your consciousness begins to gracefully merge with the vast, boundless ocean of rest, there's something profoundly beautiful to recognize about the circular nature of peace. The 5 sacred lines you speak each night don't just prepare you for sleep, they plant potent seeds that will without fail bloom into wisdom and serenity throughout your entire following day. And in a beautiful reciprocal dance, the peace you consciously cultivate during your waking hours creates the fertile foundation for even deeper, more restorative rest when night inevitably returns. This is the eternal circle of spiritual practice, a continuous flow. Each moment of mindfulness nurtures the next. Each breath filled with peace makes the following breath more natural, more expansive. When you awaken tomorrow morning, you'll carry with you the invaluable gifts that this night's sacred practice has subtly woven into the very fabric of your being. The gratitude you spoke before sleep will effortlessly color how you perceive the first precious moments of the day. Instead of immediately rushing into worry or frantic planning, you might find yourself naturally appreciating the simple miracle of having rested, of being alive, of receiving the fresh gift of another new day. This isn't something you'll need to force. It's the natural, abundant fruit of seeds meticulously planted in the rich soil of your consciousness. The release you practiced before sleep creates an expansive, clear space in your morning mind. Rather than waking up immediately cluttered with yesterday's lingering concerns or tomorrow's looming anxieties, you might discover an undeniable spaciousness, a profound clarity, a refreshing sense of starting genuinely fresh, unburdened. This is the tangible gift of consciously letting go. When you don't carry old burdens, old resentments, or old worries into your sleep, you don't carry them heavy and draining into your new day. Each morning truly becomes a genuine new beginning, a pristine canvas, rather than a continuation of accumulated stress and mental clutter. The stillness you embraced before sleep becomes a reliable refuge, an inner sanctuary that you can effortlessly access throughout your day. In moments of unexpected challenge or overwhelming demand, You'll remember, perhaps subtly at first, that there's a place within you that remains completely unshaken, utterly untouched by external turbulence. This remembrance might manifest as a gentle pause in the middle of a difficult conversation, a moment of deep, conscious breathing before responding to a stressful email, or a few precious seconds of inner quiet while waiting patiently in line. These small, conscious returns to stillness, scattered throughout your day, become like life giving drops of water, continuously nourishing the vibrant garden of your inner peace. The trust in your heart's wisdom that you cultivated before sleep will naturally guide your choices and responses during your waking hours. Instead of making every decision from a place of anxiety, fear, or external social pressure, you'll find yourself effortlessly consulting this deeper intuitive knowing. Perhaps you'll choose kindness over being right in a disagreement. Maybe you'll instinctively trust your gut intuition about a complex situation rather than endlessly overthinking it. These heart guided choices, seemingly small in isolation, accumulate profoundly over time, gradually creating a life that feels more authentic, more aligned with your true self, and imbued with deeper meaning. And finally, the profound peace with all that is that you practiced before sleep becomes a compassionate lens through which you view the inevitable challenges of the day. Traffic jams become opportunities to practice patience, a conscious choice, rather than a cause for frustration. Unexpected changes become inviting opportunities to cultivate flexibility and adaptability. Difficult people become powerful teachers in the sacred art of compassion and boundaries. This doesn't mean becoming passive or losing your ability to respond skillfully and effectively to situations. It means responding from a place of deep peace rather than frantic reactivity, from profound wisdom rather than debilitating fear. And then, as the day completes its magnificent cycle and evening gently returns, you naturally bring to your night practice all the peace, the insights, and the expanded awareness you've meticulously gathered during your waking hours. The moments of gratitude you consciously experienced throughout the day make the evening gratitude deeper, more genuine, and more heartfelt. The small conscious releases you practiced during daylight hours make the nights deeper, letting go more complete and effortless. The stillness you touched in quiet moments throughout your day makes the evening embrace of inner silence more profound and immediate. This truly is how the spiritual life actually works, not in dramatic sudden transformations or singular blinding enlightenments, but in the gradual loving accumulation of moments of peace, one after another. Each time you choose awareness over unconsciousness, each time you select love over fear, each time you consciously pick presence over mindless distraction, you are meticulously weaving new, luminous threads of wisdom, compassion, and peace into the very fabric of your being. Over time, these countless threads create a tapestry of such profound beauty that your entire life spontaneously becomes a living work of art, a testament to conscious living. The ancient Buddhist masters inherently understood this circular, ever unfolding nature of practice. They saw that awakening isn't a static destination you reach once and then possess forever. It's a dynamic, living quality of presence that you cultivate lovingly and consistently, moment by precious moment, day by day, year by year. Each night's practice meticulously prepares you for the next day's opportunities to embody wisdom and compassion. Each day's mindful living and conscious choices prepare you for the next night's journey into even deeper, more profound peace. Feel how this understanding gently takes all pressure off of tonight's practice. You don't have to achieve perfect absolute peace or experience a transcendent mystical awakening in this one sitting. You simply need to show up with genuine intention and an open heart and let the practice work its gentle, pervasive magic. Some nights, you'll effortlessly feel profound peace, immediately a wave washing over you. Other nights, the lines might feel mechanical, or your mind might seem unusually busy and resistant. Both experiences are perfect. Both are an intrinsic part of the natural rhythm of spiritual growth and human experience. What truly matters is the consistency, the gentle persistence, the unwavering willingness to return again and again to these timeless principles that fundamentally promote peace over struggle, acceptance over resistance. Like water gradually patiently wearing smooth a rough jagged stone, your repeated practice gradually wears away the sharp rough edges of reactivity, anxiety, and ingrained resistance within you. What ultimately remains is the smooth, polished stone of your natural peace, your inherent wisdom, your deepest, most expansive compassion. In Zen monasteries, there's a timeless saying that captures this essence. Before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. This seemingly simple statement points to the beautiful, profound ordinariness of an awakened life. The same daily activities continue, the same responsibilities remain, but they are now infused with a pervasive quality of presence, a deep peace, and a profound inner freedom that utterly transforms everything. Your life might look outwardly the same, but from the inside, from the perspective of your deepest being, everything has profoundly shifted. This is precisely what the 5 sacred lines gradually create in your life. Not a dramatic external transformation that everyone else can see, but a profound internal shift that beautifully colors every single experience you have. You will still face challenges, for that is the nature of life, but you will meet them from a place of centered strength, inner resilience, and unshakable calm. You will still experience difficulties, but you won't add unnecessary suffering through resistance attachment or self-judgment. You will still have preferences and desires, but you won't be enslaved by them, clinging to them desperately. You become like a majestic mountain that remains steady, strong, and unmoved, while various weather systems, storms, and sunshine alike gracefully pass over its peak. As you continue to rest here, feeling your body settling ever deeper into the tender embrace of approaching sleep sense, how you're not just practicing for tonight, you're practicing for tomorrow, for next week, for the rest of your life. Each word you speak, each intention you set with genuine heart plants, seeds that will in time flower in ways you can't yet imagine. Each moment of peace you cultivate within yourself becomes an undeniable part of the peace you effortlessly offer to everyone you encounter, subtly influencing your surroundings. This is the profound ripple effect of spiritual practice. Your peace becomes a cherished gift to your family, who experience you as more present, more patient, and less reactive. Your calm becomes a blessing to your colleagues, who benefit from your steadier energy and clearer perspective. Your acceptance becomes a quiet healing force for the strangers you meet who sense in you a quality of non judgment that subtly allows them to relax and be themselves. You become a radiant source of peace in a world that desperately needs more peace. The circle completes itself as the peace you emanate in the world contributes tangibly to the overall collective peace of humanity. And this collective peace, in turn, creates better, more harmonious conditions for everyone's individual practice and growth. We are all intricately connected in this vast web of consciousness, all subtly supporting each other's journey toward greater awakening and collective well being. Your unwavering commitment to inner peace is in its purest form a profound gift to the whole human family. Tonight, as you speak these 5 sacred lines and allow them to gently carry you into the deepest, most restorative rest, know that you're participating in something much larger, far more expansive than mere personal benefit. You're joining an ancient, unbroken lineage of seekers and awakened beings who have discovered through their own direct experience that peace is not only possible, but profoundly natural, your true home. You're contributing in your own unique way to the healing of the world through the quiet, powerful healing of your own consciousness. You're proving through your very being that it's truly possible to live from a place of boundless love, rather than debilitating fear from innate wisdom, rather than crippling confusion from profound peace, rather than exhausting struggle. And when you awaken tomorrow, refreshed, renewed, and imbued with a deep sense of inner calm, you'll have the precious opportunity to begin the circle again, to consciously carry the peace cultivated during your sleep into your waking activities, to gather new moments of gratitude, release stillness, trust, and acceptance, to weave even more vibrant threads of wisdom and compassion into the magnificent tapestry of your being, and most importantly, to offer your unique, radiant peace as a gift to the world. This is the eternal return, the sacred circle that connects all moments, all experiences, in the grand unfolding web of awakening. Rest now in the profound satisfaction of knowing that this practice continues effortlessly, whether you're asleep or awake. The seeds have been planted. The circle is complete. The peace you are is eternal, boundless, expressing itself in the temporary beautiful forms of rest and activity, sleep and waking. Night and day, you are home in this peace. You have always been home. Tonight, you simply remember, dissolving into infinite peace. As you rest here in the deepening quiet of night, your consciousness begins to soften, to expand like sugar, gently dissolving in warm water. The perceived boundaries between where you end and the vast, boundless ocean of peace start to subtly blur, to gracefully fade away. This is not a loss, but a profound homecoming. You are like a single wave on the ocean, gently discovering that it was never for a single moment separate from the infinite ocean itself. The peace you have been seeking, the peace you have yearned for, has always been the peace you intrinsically are. Now, in the gentle, encompassing embrace of approaching sleep, you allow yourself to truly remember this fundamental liberating truth. Imagine yourself floating effortlessly on the surface of an infinite ocean. The water is perfectly warm, exquisitely comforting, supporting your body with complete tenderness and unwavering buoyancy. Above you, the night sky stretches endlessly, a canopy of velvet black, filled with countless stars that pulse with the very same rhythm as your own peaceful beating heart. There is no shore in sight, no edge, no limit to this vast ocean. You are surrounded by infinite space, infinite peace, infinite unconditional love. This is not just a mere visualization. This is, in fact, the actual boundless condition of your consciousness when you cease grasping, when you release all effort and simply allow yourself to float to be. The first sacred line, I am grateful for this day's journey, now becomes like gently releasing a beautiful flower onto the water's luminous surface. Your gratitude floats gracefully on this vast ocean of being pure, beautiful, and utterly natural. Each moment of appreciation you've ever felt, each spontaneous spark of thankfulness that has ever touched your heart, now joins this boundless offering. The ocean receives your gratitude without effort, effortlessly the way vast water receives the soft glow of moonlight. Feel how this gratitude doesn't diminish. You doesn't make you smaller, but actually expands you, makes you larger, more spacious, more intimately connected to the infinite continuous gift of existence itself. As your gratitude gently spreads across the ocean like ripples of golden radiant light, you notice that you are both the one offering thanks and the boundless ocean receiving it. There is no true separation between giver and receiver, between you and the profound peace that surrounds you, that permeates you. This liberating recognition brings a deep, profound relaxation. Your body settles even deeper into the supportive water. Your mind releases its frantic need to maintain rigid boundaries and artificial barriers. You are beginning to dissolve gently and effortlessly into the vastness that has always eternally been your true home. The second sacred line, I release what no longer serves, becomes like consciously letting go of heavy stones you've been unconsciously carrying in your pockets. One by one, these self-imposed burdens, each worry, each regret, each unnecessary tension, gently sink into the unfathomable depths of the ocean, disappearing completely into the vast, forgiving darkness below. The ocean doesn't judge what you release. It simply receives everything with the same infinite, unconditional acceptance. As these weights effortlessly disappear, you float higher, lighter, more freely on the surface. Feel how releasing these burdens doesn't require any effort or struggle. The ocean's natural inherent buoyancy lifts away what you no longer need to carry, what no longer serves your highest good. Your hands, which may have been clenched around old griefs and future fears, gradually, effortlessly open. Your arms spread wide on the water's tranquil surface, embracing the vastness, allowing yourself to be supported. You are profoundly learning the art of effortless letting go. The ocean, in its boundless wisdom, teaches you that holding on is always optional. Resistance is a choice, and this choice can be unmade as easily as opening your hands. With each release, you become more transparent, more fluid, more intimately like the water itself. The rigid edges of your separate self begin to soften, to blur. You are still uniquely you, but you are also becoming something infinitely larger, more expansive. The individual drop of awareness is remembering its profound unity with the boundless ocean. This is not a loss of identity, but a radiant discovery of your true boundless identity. You are both the individual distinct wave and the infinite encompassing water. The third sacred line, I embrace the stillness within, brings you into direct, intimate contact with the ocean's deepest, most fundamental nature. Beneath the gentle rhythmic movement of the surface, beneath the soft lapping of countless waves, there exists a profound, untouched stillness. This stillness is not empty, not a void, but vibrantly full. It contains all possibility, all boundless peace, all infinite love. As you gently sink your awareness into this profound stillness, you discover with liberating clarity that it's not separate from you. You are this stillness. You have always been this stillness, pure and pristine. Feel yourself dissolving effortlessly into this vast, accommodating quiet. Your breath becomes the ocean's breath, vast and slow. Your heartbeat merges with the eternal cosmic pulse that moves through all things, all existence. The perceived boundaries between your individual consciousness and the boundless ocean consciousness fade completely, becoming indistinguishable. You are no longer floating on the water. You are the water. You are the floating. You are the infinite luminous space in which both water and floating effortlessly appear. This stillness has no edges, no discernible beginning, no perceivable end. It extends in all directions infinitely. Past and future dissolve into this eternal now. Here and there merge into this omnipresent presence. You and any sense of other melt into this unified, undifferentiated being. In this vast, profound stillness, all questions that once troubled your mind are answered not through words or concepts, but through direct, unmediated knowing. All desperate seeking comes to a gentle rest in the liberating recognition that what you so tirelessly sought was what you always truly were. The fourth sacred line, I trust the wisdom of my heart, becomes like surrendering completely, utterly to the ocean's inherent benevolent current. You cease at trying to swim in any particular direction to manipulate your path. You stop frantically analyzing which way the water is moving or where it might ultimately carry you. You simply float with complete, unconditional trust, knowing that the ocean's wisdom is infinitely greater, more profound than your small mind's limited understanding. This trust is not passive. It is profoundly actively receptive. You are consciously choosing to align yourself with an intelligence far vaster, far more loving than your individual consciousness could ever comprehend. Feel how this deep trust allows every muscle in your body to completely effortlessly relax. Your legs float freely, no longer attempting to kick or control your movement. Your arms spread wide, embracing the vastness, no longer trying to paddle or frantically direct your path. Your head tilts gently back, face turned toward the infinite star-studded sky, utterly surrendered. You are being carried tenderly and surely by forces of boundless love and profound wisdom that know exactly where you need to go, precisely what you need to experience for your deepest well-being. This is the deepest possible surrender. This is what the mystics throughout history have lovingly called dying before you die, letting go of the small self to discover the vast eternal self. The ocean's current carries you not through physical space, but through consciousness itself. You are floating through ever-deepening layers of peace, each one more profound, more encompassing than the last. Your individual heartbeat becomes the majestic heartbeat of the universe itself. Your personal breath becomes the shared breath of all life. You are discovering that your most intimate, unique nature is also the most universal, all-encompassing nature. The heart's wisdom you're trusting is not just your heart. It is the sacred beating heart of existence itself. The fifth sacred line, I am at peace with all that is, beautifully completes your profound dissolution into the infinite ocean. In this vast accommodating water, there is no longer any resistance to anything. The ocean accepts all rivers that flow into it, regardless of their clarity or turbidity, their calm or their rushing. It embraces all weather that touches its surface, whether a violent storm or a gentle calm. In the same way, you are learning to be utterly at peace with every single wave of experience, every thought, every sensation, every emotion that arises within your consciousness. Feel how being at peace with all that is makes you as vast, as boundless as the ocean itself. Pain and pleasure, joy and sorrow, gain and loss, all are simply different textures, different currents in the infinite water of your being. None of them define you or limit you. They arise and pass away like fleeting waves on the surface, while your essential true nature remains unchanging, pristine, eternal. You are the eternal witness, the endless expanse, the peace that passeth all understanding. In this complete, unconditional acceptance, something truly miraculous has occurred. You have died to your small, separate self and been gloriously reborn as your true, infinite self. You have released your frantic grip on the familiar, the limited, and opened your arms wide to embrace the boundless, the infinite. You have stopped defending your perceived boundaries, and in doing so, discovered that you are and always have been boundless. This is what the mystics call the Great Death, the profound, liberating death that leads not to extinction, but to eternal, boundless life. Now, in this moment of complete, graceful surrender, sleep approaches you not as an end, but as a glorious beginning. It comes to you like the most gentle, tender lover, like the sweetest, most comforting mother, like the wisest, most benevolent teacher. You don't fall into sleep. You effortlessly rise into it. You don't lose consciousness. You discover what consciousness truly is when it's no longer limited, no longer confined by the narrow boundaries of personal identity. Feel yourself being drawn down into these infinite depths, not with any sense of drowning or fear, but with the most profound sense of coming home, of ultimate belonging. The surface world of thoughts and concerns grows dim, distant, dissolving. The light of ordinary waking awareness fades into a deeper, richer luminosity. You are sinking effortlessly into the sacred womb of existence itself, where all healing happens, where all renewal occurs, where all peace, all love, all wisdom originates. In these infinite depths, you discover that sleep is not unconsciousness, but the deepest consciousness. It's consciousness without object awareness, without boundary love, without limitation. You don't lose yourself in sleep. You find yourself. You don't become unconscious. You become so utterly conscious that there's no separate self left to be conscious of, only pure, boundless awareness. This is the secret that mystics have whispered and embodied for centuries. Sleep is in its purest form, enlightenment. As you dissolve completely fully into this ocean of infinite peace, carry with you the profound recognition that this vastness is always eternally available to you. When you awaken refreshed and renewed, you will remember that you are not just the fleeting wave, but the entire boundless ocean. When challenges inevitably arise in your daily life, You will know deep within your being that you have infinite depth, infinite resources to draw upon. When you feel small, limited, or isolated, you will remember this moment of boundless expansion, this feeling of being utterly one with all of existence. Rest now, beloved soul, in the complete, undeniable knowing that you are held by love itself. You are floating in the very substance of peace. You are utterly dissolved in the ocean of all wisdom, all compassion, all joy. There is nothing to fear, nothing left to achieve, nothing more to become. You are already perfect. You are already whole. You are already home. Let the gentle waves of this infinite ocean carry you now effortlessly into the deepest, most profoundly sacred sleep. Let the rhythm of the eternal tide rock you like the most loving, most comforting mother. Let the vast silence of the depths embrace you completely, holding you in its perfect peace. You are the ocean. You are the peace. You are the love that has no opposite. Sleep now in this recognition. Dissolve completely into what you have always been. The 5 sacred lines have done their profound work. They have opened the doorway to the deepest, most healing rest. They have meticulously prepared the temple of your being to receive the greatest gift. Now comes the gift itself, the gift of sacred sleep, the gift of conscious rest, the gift of communion with your own infinite nature. Sleep now, beloved soul. Sleep in the arms of the eternal. Sleep in the heart of the divine. Sleep in the recognition that you have never for a single moment been separate from the peace you seek. For you are that peace. You have always been that peace. And in sleep, you simply remember what you are. Rest now. Rest completely. Rest in the infinite love that holds all things. Rest in the perfect peace that you are. Rest.